Hello and welcome to a new episode of The World of Company Secretaries. This is an interview show where we talk to company secretaries in India and abroad. This is mainly to inspire the younger generation, people who are studying CS or people or anywhere who have started their early career in CS. And we talk to different company secretaries. And today's guest is CS Vinay BL. Hello Vinay, welcome to the World of Company Secretaries.
Hello, Alok.
So thanks a lot for making time for this. Before we go ahead and introduce Vinay, I have a small announcement for everyone. Many of you asked us that we want small clips of the world of company secretaries. So we have actually made a separate channel just with the shorter clips and the words of wisdom of all our guests. Many of our interviews go into 45 minutes, 1 hour, and not everybody has the time. So we have done that. You can check that channel in the description below. You can also listen to the world of company secretaries. If you don't want to watch the video, we are on Spotify also. And all of this is completely free for you to get inspired. So today's guest, talking about inspiration, it is CS Vinay BL. And it is a little difficult for me to introduce because he's also a very good friend of mine. We studied CS together. Vinay is basically a commerce graduate. He's finished his company secretary. He has also finished his law. And besides this, he has worked in listed company initial couple of years of his career, which gave him the experience. And then he got into practice. Now he's having a very good practicing firm based out of Bangalore. And he has more than 10 people in the firm. There are two partners, and the firm is growing. He specializes in company law, FEMA, insolvency law, IPR, and other corporate laws. You can also check out his website for more details. So, Vinay, welcome once again. We are very happy that you made time for this. The first question we actually ask is, what are you doing now? If you tell briefly, then we can go to your journey of when did you start CS, etc.
Okay. Alok, thanks for providing this opportunity. And I would like to say this that, I understand from this statement of yours that you are trying to inspire the younger generation and you are trying to inspire the new company secretaries who have joined this profession. I really don't know whether I deserve to be in this position wherein I guide others, but I am of the opinion that if my journey can inspire the students or the new company secretaries join the profession, I will be happy to do that. So,
Yeah, just before you go ahead, see, again, not just for Vinay, even for our guests, there is a very specific reason why each of our guests is chosen and is on the show. That way, you see, we have more than 60, 70,000 company secretaries, but we are trying to select people from different backgrounds doing different work so that the audience gets to know that there are so many different opportunities in CS, and you learn why we have Vinay in this episode as we go ahead in the interview. Yes, Vinay, please tell us what your firm does now and what you do now.
thanks, Alok. Thanks for your kind introduction. And yes, I'm Vinay BL. My firm's name is Vinay BL and Co. I'm practicing company secretary in Bangalore. I practice in Karnataka, Bangalore, south part of Bangalore. So presently, ours is an organization which has around 10 people, and we are two partners. And we are providing the services, as you mentioned, that we are providing the services in Companies Act, intellectual property rights, IBC, and other corporate laws. So till date, I have provided services to around 250 or 300 corporates and also non-corporates. So this is all
Yes.
about myself, Anand.
Yeah. So 250 to 300 corporates, and I'm sure there are many more who have just come for some small assignment and gone. That's a big number. But why we asked this question initially is because students know, okay, you have reached a certain position now, you have reached a certain success, but there must have been a day where you first got to know there is a course called CS. Of
Correct.
course, everyone, nobody knew CS, right? So someday they got to know first day. Which was that first day you got to know, and why did you take CS course?
Okay. See, this is something which I would like to explain in detail. I'm a student from commerce background. we had one subject called company law and secretarial practice in our BCom, first year BCom. And when there was also an optional subject, mathematics. I'm not good at numbers. I am good at theory. So because of that reason, I chose company law and secretarial practice. And when I was reading about company law and secretarial practice, there I was able to understand there is some designation called as company secretary. And that was just a process wherein I had to learn about company secretary, and I just had to pass the examination. That's all. Thereafter, I did not have any idea of becoming a company secretary. But the biggest turn came in my life in the year 2005. Uh, Alok, this is something which I would like to share with you, and of course, you know about it. I am a student who completed my graduation in engineering college. I used to work in our own shop. We had a grocery shop. I used to work in the grocery shop early in the morning and also during the day. And then I used to go to my evening college, APS Evening College. There I somehow completed my graduation. And when I, during the graduation days, I did not know how to frame even a single sentence in English. The entire graduation of mine was in Kannada medium. And the definition of company secretary is also something which I had by hearted in Kannada. And I can also reproduce it now.
Yes, please tell us.
Yeah. So ಕಂಪನಿ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಕಂಪನಿ ಕಾರ್ಯದರ್ಶಿಗಳ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸದಸ್ಯನಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕ ಮಂಡಳಿಯು ತನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೊರಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯನ್ನು ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿರುತ್ತಾನೆ. So this is the definition which I read in BCom. So now when I look back, I see that God has brought me here. He has given so much of opportunities. I'm happy about my life, and I'm more happy about this company secretary's course. So I was telling you about the year 2005. My graduation got over, and I continued to stay in our shop only, the grocery shop. And one fine day, I still remember the day, Vaikuntha Ekadashi. Myself and my friend Harish, we went to a temple where I met Sukumar sir, who was the lecturer in our evening college, and he asked me, "Vinay, what is that you are doing?" I said, "Sir, I completed my graduation. Thereafter, I'm not doing anything. I'm continuing the family business, a grocery shop. I'm staying with my parents. I'm trying to help my parents." Then he said, "Vinay, you have to understand one thing. Education is a secret asset. You never know how it comes to your help." And that is the day on which I decided that yes, I should continue my education. But I did not have any sort of clear thoughts as to what should I do and how the education has to be continued. And he told me there is something called as post graduation diploma in supply chain management, SEM. So if you can complete it, it is a 1-year course. If you can complete it, you'll be getting somewhere around 30 to 40,000 rupees salary, and your life would be settled. So I can do that. So I was having the idea about this, and I started checking about this course from the people who used to visit our shop. And we had a departmental store and grocery store, wherein people used to come, and people who are officials, I used to check with them. Sir, what's your idea about supply chain management? And some people used to give some vague ideas, and people did not have the clarity that what has to be done, what should not be done. So all these things were the situation. And one fine day, I decided, no, I will not be continuing my life with this grocery shop only, but I need to do something beyond this. And that is the day I visited the house of our professor, B. Paramesh, who is presently the principal of APS Commerce College. I visited him and I tried to get his suggestion that, sir, what should I do? He said, Vinay, there are a lot many opportunities, and we had a lot of discussion about which course is better, and which is having the advantage, what is the pros and cons of different course. And then I decided I will go ahead with company secretaryship. When he said about CS, I said, okay, sir, this is the course, I know about it, and I in first year BCom, this was my elective subject, and I'm going to become a company secretary. But I remember Paramesh sir told that Vinay, you cannot write this in Kannada, not to write it in English. So that was a challenge. I said, okay, let me try to do that. So this is if that is the destiny, let's try to do that. That's what I decided, and then I made admission to this company secretaries course 29th May 2006. I made the admission to this company secretaries course, and once I made the admission, I carried the books, and for carrying only it was heavy. Forget about reading. So I carried it to my home, and then I started reading. Like for me, I was not able to understand anything. If I had to read one page in English, at least 20 to 25 times, I had to look at the dictionary. I still remember certain phrases wherein it is written that people come to a common understanding, and then the understanding has to be reduced to writing. So I used to understand writing. Okay, it has to be something which is written. So reduce. So I used to see in dictionary which says that you have to reduce. So how the writing can be reduced? So this is how I used to understand, and it was very confusing, and I had a lot of fear. And again, I went to a friend of mine, Harish, and I spoke to him. Harish, this is the difficulty which I'm facing. I don't know, will I be in a position to overcome it or not? So then Harish suggested, Vinay, you are getting worried for no reason. Please wait until the classes starts. Once you join the classes, then you will know, you'll talk to your lecturers, then they will give you a fair idea as to how to read, how not to read, all these things. So I waited and classes started. And in the class, it was not a cakewalk for me particularly. I come from a background wherein it was very difficult for me to ask in my house, even for the bus charge. So it was up and down 22 kilometers. I used to go by cycle and I used to come by cycle. When I used to go by cycle and come by cycle, I used to have a lot of inferiority complex. And people used to come in bike and people used to come in car. But I am the one who used to come in cycle. So I was having a lot of inferiority complex, and I was not trying to mingle with people. I used to stay separate. And the teachers who used to come also used to teach in English only. And at that point of time, I was not able to understand what they are trying to teach. And even if I pay a lot of attention and try to understand something, and if I get some doubt, somehow I used to frame the sentence and used to ask the question. If the bouncer question is asked, if the counter question is asked, I did not have any go. I did not have any comeback. So that was the situation. And one fine day, I should be thankful to R. Srinivasan, who used to take company law. He is again a practicing company secretary. He practices in Jayanagar, Bangalore. I should be thankful to him. I was standing outside the class after the class got over. I was standing outside the class and I was thinking that sir should come and talk to me. But I did not speak anything. I don't know. Sir understood. He came to me and he spoke to me in Kannada. And he asked me, Vinay, why are you finding this much of problem? And I thought that, how will I be in a position to explain? And I explained him in Kannada only. Sir, this is the problem. I keep reading, but I don't understand whatever I read. See, look, this is something which I feel like things are predestined. I know that day when Srinivasan sir understood my problem, he said that, when I completely understand your problem is not that you are finding it difficult to understand things. The biggest problem and the biggest mistake which you are doing is that, you are trying to learn English from Kannada, which is a mistake. Try to learn English from English. Only then you will be in a position to take it forward. I was puzzled, like, what is learning English from Kannada and what is learning English from English? How can I learn English from English only? So it was a puzzle. And I asked that, sir, can you please explain what do you mean? And then he said that, you must be having this D.K. Bharadwaj's dictionary. I said, yes, sir, that is the dictionary which I'm having. And then he said, that, if you are not trying to, if you are trying to understand every meaning from that, this is how you will be. So go and purchase Oxford's Learner's Dictionary. So he was very specific. He said Oxford Learner's Dictionary. I asked, sir, what is the difference? How many dictionaries would be there? He said Oxford comes out with many dictionaries. Learner's Dictionary is one thing which you'll have to purchase, which will guide you. So I understood, and I had lot of doubts, but I did not question his advice. I just followed his advice. Immediate next day, I went to Avenue Road. while going to class only. I purchased that Oxford Learner's Dictionary, and then I carried. Thereafter, I started reading. If I'm not in a position to understand anything, just go to Oxford Learner's Dictionary and see. And the beauty with this Learner's Dictionary is that one word would be explained, like, if situation one, how this would be used, situation two, how this would be used. And they used to frame lot many sentences and give the example. And I started loving it. And, then it is something like I'm reading and I'm understanding. I'm happy about this. So the first attempt of mine went on only in understanding. And for
Yeah,
200,
just before you continue, for our viewers, what I want to tell is,
yeah,
see in Vinay's time and our time, we had to go for dictionary, learner's dictionary. Today, you have so many resources, whether it is online videos, audio, or coaching classes, and even just specific English classes. Even in Excel, we had done some. So don't think that you don't have resources. There are a lot of things which are there. And Vinay is telling right from his thing, like he was in a grocery store, then with his family business, then he was so scared to even speak one sentence in English. He would form a sentence, but he couldn't. So everybody has gone through it. It's not just that you are facing some issues. That is why we wanted a story. Please continue, Vinay.
yeah. So, I was trying to say that, how this helped this Oxford Learners Dictionary. I was able to understand what I used to, read. And then comes my first attempt of intermediate, and now it is called as executive program, wherein I failed miserably. And I got, for 400, I got somewhere around 70, more than 70 and less than 80. I remember the marks. But I had some amount of confidence. Yes, now I'm in a position to read and understand what I'm reading.
So that's about 10 to 12 marks per subject, something like that. No,
Something.
no, one module. One module means
One
around
module.
20 marks per subject.
Yeah. So one
Okay.
module. So I had scored 37 in securities law. That was the highest mark. I
Okay.
was not able to pass even in one subject. I was not able to get even minimum, paper minimum of 40. But I was happy that, somehow I wrote the professional examination and I'm able to write something in English and
Hmm.
able to get some 20 marks per paper. I was happy. And
Yes, I totally understand what you're saying, because even when I did not clear, that is when I realized, okay, one day I can clear this course. Not because when we fail only, we like, yes, please continue. First attempt was below
then,
80. Okay.
yes,
Then,
so that was the thing. And then, I was fortunate to get Anand in our group. We were studying, and this is something which I advise all students. See, having the equal-minded people is very important. People who can motivate you, and most important, people who will not demotivate you. So, have the people, this sort of people, and then things would actually fall in place. That's all I would like to say. And I remember myself and Anand speaking for hours in phone, and our discussion. And I need to specify about Anand. Anand Krishna again comes from a different background. He comes from the civil construction line, and he continued his education when he was 32. So for him also, it was not that easy to gel with youngsters, and for me also, it was not that easy to gel with again the people who were like who come from the higher class of society. It was not that easy for me. So somehow we made the combination, and Alok, you joined Anand, and we know each other.
yes.
Then we continued. We used to have a lot of discussions, and the beauty of discussion is this: you need not put any extra effort to remember things. If you discuss, that is there in your mind. And next is like you just have to reproduce. Yeah, there is one point which I wanted to tell and I missed. See, in my first attempt, what I learned is this: I used to read. I would have understood it, but when I go to examination, when the question paper is given, I know the answer, but I'm not in a position to recollect the answer. So then I understood the difference. There is a difference between understanding and gaining the capability to reproduce what you have understood. So this is the difference which I have understood in my first attempt. And again, I should be thankful to my teachers only. And I should remember my teachers, Madhusudan sir and also Kannan sir, who used to say that Vinay, you have chosen the stream of law. Law is like a nut. you should know how to crack it. Kanan sir. And Matsudan sir, law is like a knot, you should know how to open it. So people will have different definitions, but this is how they used to project things to us. And people also advised that one time writing is equal to 10 times reading. So though you have understood, there is a difference between understanding and remembering what you have understood. So the study has to cross the three stages. One, you have to understand. Second, you will have to remember what you have understood. Third, gain the capability of reproducing what you have understood. So if the study can pass through these things, then automatically you will pass. This is something which the advice which I got from my teachers, and I firmly believed in it. And then next thing is to purchase the single-sided computer sheets. I went to care market, purchased some 10 kilos of computer sheets, and started writing whatever I understood. Next attempt, I passed 210 marks. I was very happy. All of us passed. Myself, Anand, you, everyone passed. You got 240 plus. Anand got 240 plus. I got 210. But it is like this. 199, there is a difference between 199 and 200. But there is no difference between 200 to 300 or 400.
Exactly.
No difference. So 200 is equal to 400. 199 is equal to 0. So that is the lesson which we learned, and then we continued with the other group.
So Vinay, I think already many will be quite inspired by your journey. I always tell students before I ask my next question is that you may be from a vernacular medium. You should not feel inferior or something. Definitely you can pass. English is just a language. Law is a language. So if you understand law, it is in English. And there are many ways, not just that you need a learner's dictionary. There are courses, there is guidance. You can do it. Going further, Vinay, you told some already interesting stories. Can you tell us 2, 3 anecdotes or memories about throughout the journey of the CS course, which was very memorable forever?
Okay. So, there are lot many, and, we have spent a very good number of, we have a lot of memories alone. Like,
Correct.
after completing our executive, we went to a movie. Which movie? How to select the movie? And, we put the toss, and, if head comes, we will go to Kannada movie. If tail comes, we'll go to Telugu movie. Something like
Correct.
this. We
Correct.
decided all these things, and this was a cherishable thing which I always cherish, which I remember. But particularly, it is something like, when we were students, we were sitting and we were having a lot of discussions, and every discussion is a memory. When myself, you, and Anand, we used to sit and discuss about accounts, it was a very good thing. We used to call my room as Vinay Cooking Corner. All these things. Lot
Yeah,
of
so
very good.
just for the audience, just we are not going to give too much details, but basically it was a room which was very hot and it was very difficult to study. And it used to be quite hard, but still I used to go because I'm from LLB background and account used to be so difficult. So in out of how many marks I got, easily 10 to 15 marks is Vinay's marks what he taught. And of course, it is the other way around. We all studied together, but yeah. So that is one thing. Tell us about your GCL, what we call JIGL today. It
Correct.
used to be General and
General
Commercial laws, right?
information.
GCL.
Correct. See, it was like this. This is a story again which all of us remember. Anand, this is something which happens with every student. I was thinking that I am an exception, but this is something which happens with every student. How this happens with every student, I'll tell you. Uh, I was trying to read the questions, and I was trying to think that, okay, how will I be in a position to write the examination? So when I was thinking about this, I told Anand that, this attempt I'm skipping. I'm not going to write this. I'm going to write it in the next attempt only. When I told Anand, Anand scolded me. He said that, you are an idiot. You are, you do not have any sort of sense. Leaving one attempt 6 months is too costly, which you don't understand now. So go give the attempt. I said, Anand, I'm not in a position to recollect anything. I've forgotten anything. I have forgotten everything. So Anand gave me a very good offer. Friday, Monday was our examination, and Friday I told this to Anand. He said, Vinay, it would be like a revision for me. It would be like, you do one thing, you start studying. And once you study, if you get any doubt, you call me immediately, instantly. I clarify then and there itself. And it would be a revision for me. I liked it, and I said, okay, I will give a try. So I started reading again. The thing, first reading was completed, second reading was completed, but by third reading, I did not have the confidence. When I called Anand, that I started asking the questions like, Anand, what is the rate of, how many types of rate is there? What is the difference between rate of mandamus and rate of habeas corpus? All these things I used to ask and he used to explain. For him, it was revision, and for me, it was like again, I used to recollect things and I wrote the examination. The beauty is this, Alok. I got 57 mark in that, general and commercial law. So whatever we have this law, right? And I got 57 mark. And in that attempt, I'm happy that all of us cleared our executive. That is true. Those days it was intermediate and executive we cleared and we reached our professional.
Yeah, that was a huge relief because I still feel executive was more difficult than professional because we
Agree.
don't know anything. What is this? Starting some new course and all that. And one more thing is just for viewers to be aware, this is not 2021. This was way back in 2006, 7, and that kind of time. And it is mobile calls were not very cheap. And still we used to end up calling because no other option. And in
Correct.
Bangalore, it's however close you are, it quite takes a lot of time to travel. I'm sure you know. So
Correct.
that is okay. You told two, three nice examples. There are many more. We can keep that for another day. But next thing I wanted to ask you is, once you studied, can you tell a little bit about your training? How important training is, and
Yes.
some experiences related to that.
Very, very, very good question, Alok. See, I would like to say this. I would like to correlate this with the number of attempts. I call this. I firmly believe this. Deed speaks louder than words. I took 4 attempts for passing the intermediate, but I took only 3 attempts to pass professional. 3 groups, 3 attempts. Whereas in intermediate, 2 groups, 4 attempts.
Basically, in professional, each time you went, you wrote one group and you passed it.
Not exactly. I tried to take 2 groups, out of which I was able to pass one at a time.
Okay.
So I would like to understand that the other group in which I was failing, I was not getting any less marks. I was actually getting 130, 140 like this I used to get. And it was fair. It was good marks only. I was not able to get 150, but I used to cross 130. So that
Okay.
was the marks which I was able to get. I would say training is the supplement. It actually helps you to understand the things in a practical way. See, it is something like this. When you understand one particular thing, if you analyze the syllabus of intermediate as well as final, now you call it as executive as well as professional, the subjects are similar, but the way the institute asks the question is different. In executive, most things would be straight questions. But in professional, when you see, analyze the question papers, you will be in a position to understand that the questions would be asked and you are expected to give the answer in a practical manner. My training helped me to understand the things in a better way. And though I was working full time, I still took less number of attempts and I was able to pass. And with my training, it is again a very good memory. I was working with a senior citizen. My boss was 68 years at that point of time. Sir is still practicing 70, 80, around 80 years. Sir is still practicing. Whenever I call him, Sir says that, "Vinay, there is this amendment. Have you gone through this amendment?" So I'm happy that, I did the training with RC Venkateshwar sir. One important thing is this. Sir provided a lot of liberty to me, and he said that, when I'm giving this task to you, and I want this to be completed, you have all the liberty to use any source you want. You can either, call your friends, call the seniors, or look at the internet and, do your research. I only want this job to be done. That's all. So he provided a lot of freedom, and he asked me to use any resource which I could use, and in the process I learned a lot. even if you are not having any sort of guidance, even if you are not even if you are having limited guidance, if you are capable of doing the research, you can do any task. So that is the amount of the confidence which I got, which also helped me to study and look outside our study material. So that was very important for me. That was a learning which I understood after the completion of my training. Though I got an offer uh, in a listed company, when I got an offer in the listed company, there was no company secretary in the company, and I was waiting for the results of my second module. First and third I had cleared, and I was waiting for the results of my second module. That is the time in which I got the offer from this listed company, and I joined the position of the assistant company secretary. Why I was assistant company secretary? Because I did not have the membership number, and I had to be designated as an assistant company secretary. But assistant to whom? To myself. That was the
Just waiting for membership and formalities.
that's it. That's it. And fortunately, I got my results, and in the same attempt, I also cleared, and I got my membership number. And thereafter, I continued in the company.
So here one small thing which again viewers should observe. See, if you work hard and do well in training, people will be observing you. Even you may feel, oh, who will say what is that? If you are diligent, because not because I know Vinay or something, we were all doing training and we were in, I'm in different office, he's in different office. What I really liked is the discipline and the hard work, and it was also inspiring for us, though we were in other office. And see, somebody was watching before getting the result. He got the job, and result was just a formality. So whoever is watching this, don't think that whatever you do is unnoticed. Everyone is saying whatever you do, it will come back to your use later. Yeah, please continue, Vinay.
Yeah, rightly pointed, Look. Yes. So, so I got my results and I got my membership number, and then I have achieved. That's all. Thereafter, I did not look back at all. In the year 2010, when I got my membership number, I had to conduct the annual general meeting of a listed company, and I did not have any problem. Conceptually, I was clear. I was able to conduct the annual general meeting also in a good manner. The management was also happy. Management reposed the confidence in me and started providing the additional assignments. There is another group company, Pasari Exports Limited, and I know the management involved me in the export related activities also. I had the opportunity to appear before the RBI, before the DGFT, and was also able to involve myself for getting the duty drawbacks, for all these things.
Labor laws.
Yeah, labor laws, yes, that is a different story which I get into it at in some time I'll get into it.
Yeah.
I was able to work with DGFT and all. It was a very good exposure. And one fine day, I was trying to comply with the listing requirements. Those days it was listing agreement, not listing obligation disclosure requirement, from which we are following today. So in listing agreement, the website had to have certain information, and some of the information were missing in the website of the company. So I decided, okay, I'll update this. And one thing I updated, code of conduct for the board of directors. When I updated this, the managing director was very happy, and he gave me an offer that, when our factory is in Mysore, which Nanjangud, and why don't you visit our factory? There will be a lot of the code of conduct which you have prepared. We'll have to do this for the laborers who are here. So I said, okay, sir, I will come. I was again happy, and I remembered what I read in labor laws. So it for laborers, it is not the code of conduct. It is something like standing instructions, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So standing instructions. So I again refreshed my memory, and I looked into my study materials, went to Mysore, and I was able to see that those things were already in place. Standing instructions were already in place, and it was in the vernacular language, Kannada. And then I got the opportunity to.
So now Kannada helped you a lot because
Yes.
you know it.
Yeah. But
So again, one small thing, people who are watching this, see what Vinay is telling is that again, it's the opportunity. If you know, they will get the opportunities, and whatever you have done in the past, it will come back to you in the future in ways which you cannot expect.
Yes.
That is the thing. Yes, please continue. Vinay.
Yeah. So the standing instructions were in Kannada, and I was able to explain this to the managing director. And then he asked me, Vinay, will you be in a position to do the labor inquiries? And I asked, sir, what is the, what do you mean by labor inquiries? And he said, the labor inquiries is a procedure uh, which helps the improvement of attendance among laborers. So I understood the whole process and I started the inquiry. I was visiting the factory thrice or four times in a month, and that was again a very good opportunity. I had the opportunity to meet the labor law consultant and appear before various authorities in Vidhan Sauda, in Vikas Sauda. All these things were the exposure which I got. And in the year 2012, I decided that now this is the time in which I have to get into practice. I always wanted to be in practice, but if I straight get into practice, I will not know the other side of the fence. So I decided, okay, let me be in employment. 2 years I was in employment. Then I
Yeah,
started.
so talking about practice, good you told about your training and the opportunities in the listed company before you got your result, and
Correct.
the different laws, not just company law or SEBI related, but even labor laws or other corporate laws. If you
Yes.
are ready, you will get the opportunities. Vinay, here, next question about practice, because it's not easy. Even we have gone through the similar journey. What are some of the challenges which you faced initially during practice, and how did you overcome it?
Okay. So as I told you, practice, yes, practice is something which challenges you every day. You will have the commitments and you will have to provide reply to the clients. At least in employment, you can say that you are restricting yourself to the activities of the company, and you will know which are all the areas in which you'll have to look into, and you will know how the managing director is going to behave or how the directors are going to be, and how you will have to report to the board or to the managing director or to the CFO, depending upon the roles and responsibilities which is provided to you, which are provided to you. But in case of practice, it is not so. You'll have to do everything which is provided to you, and you have the experience, you have the exposure, people are not going to ask, and you'll have to accept everything. And everything is a learning curve. You're going to learn a lot, and you should be willing to work hard. If you are in a position to work hard, try to understand the essence of it, then I feel that anything would be an easy job. Again, the credit goes to the seniors who are in the profession and the uh, friends of mine who keep guiding me.
Actually, here I want to ask one question which is directly related. Lot of students have a misconception about CS training.
Hmm.
They see it more of a burden or hurdle than as a enabling factor, which is the foundation for the entire career ahead.
Hmm.
I feel, at least in my small experience, whatever I am, whether it is the work, whether it is the values, whether it is the culture, or how we should deal with clients, was purely out of my training and the bosses under which I worked, and that gave the foundation. But for some reason, I am quite disturbed. Today's students think that CS means it is just write the exam, pass it, then you somebody should call you and give you a job. How is that possible? So, can you tell us what is the perspective students should have before joining training, and why it is so important?
I would like to give you a simple example to the viewers. It is something like this. Cycling is something which you cannot learn by reading. You'll have to have the practical experience. Riding a bike, again. Driving a car, again.
Swimming.
Swimming, again. So the proficient.
Correspondence course in swimming students want to do now.
So things will not work like that. Unless you do the things practically, you will not learn. So theory is different from practical. Unless you understand the practical difficulties, or I don't call it as difficulties, practical nitty-gritties. So if you are not in a position to understand, how you'll have to work in a situation, no matter how many books you read, I don't think that you will not be having an edge over the other people. So practically you will have to learn how to deal with the client, how to talk to the client, how to talk to different people, how to approach the departments. It is very important to learn how to appear before different authorities. So this is the experience which anybody would be getting in the period of training. I would say that, as I told earlier also, I was a full-time student. I took 4 attempts for passing my intermediate, but I took only 3 attempts for passing my professional, that is final those days.
Along
And
with
with
training.
training, along with training, that was a full-time job for me. So I would say that training is a very good thing, provided you take the training in the right spirit. So taking the things in the right spirit is very important. If
So
you
here I want to just like dig deeper into the same topic and question. See, you have been a vocal supporter of this 21 months training. You have done good grassroots level work. Many have done, but even you are one of them. Can you tell what is the thought process which a student should approach this 21 months training? Some people are telling, oh, it is so long. We wanted old structure, 1, 2, 3 years, all that. Please give some insights on this.
I would say when the institute came out with this new training structure, the uniform training structure of 24 months, out of 24 months, 21 months is with the practicing company secretary or the company, and 3 months is with the institute, like 1 month before you start your training, and the rest 2 months after your training is completed and after you pass your professional program, then the 2 months training would continue with the institute. So, as the name itself indicate, it actually trains you to reach and practice as a professional or work as a professional. So this is something which I would like to, this quotation is something which is given by a senior company secretary, J. Sundaresh, who used to say that the training period is the period in which you are going to learn, and rest is the period in which you are going to practice. So give you 100%, particularly when you are doing your training, and then you will not be in a position to have any sort of repentance when you do the practice. So this is something which I firmly believe people should think positively about the training. I don't know why there is a shift of thinking like training is bad. I would say this: we, the company secretaries, we do not have anything called as college, like engineers or doctors. There is
Yeah,
nothing called as college. For us, our training is the period
which is
wherein we
like
have to
equal to
learn.
college.
Yes, is equivalent to college, wherein we'll have to learn and we'll also have to create our memories in our training only. So the training in which I did, I have a lot of memories, and I would definitely say whatever I am today is definitely because of the training which I have got, and
Exactly. In fact,
getting.
many of our guests, again for the viewers, most of the guests have said that whatever they did in future, the foundation was in the training. So
Correct.
it's important to go for the training with a very positive attitude and not thinking, oh, it is 21 months, 24 months, what we should do this. That is not the way. In fact, just before we spoke this, when Vinay was speaking, if you people observed, he said he went back to the books when he was working in that listed company. He went back to ICSI book. So book is also important. Our exam is important. Same way, the training is important because we are in a course which we study exactly what we are going to apply and work in the corporate sector. It is not like BCom where we are studying something and working something else which is unconnected. So that is the reason why you cannot just watch, for example, cooking. You just can't watch cooking video. You have to actually go try and cook, fail 1 or 2 times, then you'll become good. No, same logic applies here. Vinay, next we want to ask you is, can you tell us any one case which you always remember, which you feel, okay, from a boy who did not even know English one sentence, I have done this kind of a assignment as a company secretary in practice. Can you please share that?
Yeah. So there are certain funny incidents, and there are incidents like which I will remember for my life.
Yeah, you can tell the 2, 3. Everything will be interesting.
Yeah. So as I told you, I got into practice in the year 2012. When I got into my practice, I had to incorporate one company, Section 25 company. A senior of mine called me and told that, you have to incorporate one Section 25 company. I said, okay, sir. Section 25 company is a company which actually does something related to this sort of activities. If you are trying to, bring some sort of development in the society, so you are going to incorporate a Section 25 company,
So
whether it
today's
means
Section 8 charitable companies was
now
Section
it is
25.
Section 8.
Yeah.
So in 1956 Act, it was Section 25 company. So one twist was that the one of the director and the shareholder, the promoter, is today's Deputy Chief Minister, Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan. So those days he was MLA of Malleshwaram constituency, and fortunately or unfortunately, I got to know. I was only 3 months old in my practice, and the moment I got to know this, and I said the senior that sir, I'm very new to practice and I'm not willing to take up this assignment. He asked me why, what is the problem? I said, sir, I'm not competent enough to do this. That too for an MLA who is
well reputed in society.
Correct, very reputed in society. If I do any mistake, it is your reputation which would be harmed. So then, the senior was kind enough. I should, be thankful to him. He said, Vinay, I firmly believe that you have the competencies which is required to do this. If you don't believe, then don't take it up. It was a question. I said, okay, sir, I will take it up. So the process, in which again it was a learning curve. Now, if I look back that incident, and it is nothing. We have incorporated so many Section 25 companies, so many trusts, and so many Section 8 companies. Now it is nothing. But for me, those days, 1.5 month, 1.5 month delay, and the other people, bigger people, they are waiting, and they call, they ask, what is the status? So that is one thing. Once I incorporated that company, I got so much of relief. I went to temple. I thank God. Finally, I'm able to incorporate this company. That is one incident. And the second incident which I wanted to share is this. You must be knowing there is an amendment to Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Section 4. The limit of default is enhanced from 1 lakh rupees to 1 crore rupees.
Yeah.
So this incident is related to, so this amendment. It was in the year 2019, 2018. I filed a case. One of my client company, which is in Tamil Nadu, is an operational creditor, and the corporate debtor is in the state of Maharashtra, Mumbai. So the jurisdiction is NCLT Mumbai. I filed a case under Section 9 of IBC, and the case had to be admitted. At that stage, the respondent approached the applicant company and said that I would like to get into a settlement deed. I will repay the entire money. Please don't initiate the CARP. You withdraw the case. So management was also happy, and we executed the conditional settlement deed, and we also deposited in Mumbai. When we deposited it, company also started getting the money as per the conditional settlement deed. So I did not bother much. For me, that was initial days of my practice in as far as NCLT is concerned. So for me, it was initial days of practice, and once I got to know that company started receiving the money, I thought that okay, it is good that these people started getting the money. Okay, let them enjoy. So I did not bother for a period of I did not worry for a period of some 6 months. And the actual botheration started when the respondent stopped making the payments. And my client approached me and said that, Vinay, we will have to again reinitiate the process. That is the time I went to NCLT website and tried to check the status. I realized that the conditional settlement deed which was submitted by us is not noted by the Honorable NCLT Mumbai. And the case was dismissed due to non-prosecution. And some 45 days was elapsed, and we had crossed the 30 days limitation period also. And again, here I should be thankful to Vivekanand sir, Advocate Vivekananda, who has an organization, VGB and Associates in Bangalore. So I went to him and I asked that, sir, this is the position. The money which is involved is 71 lakh rupees. So I am out of, and the managing director of the company is calling me and saying that, Vinay, what is this? I'm with the civil courts. I want my writing in the NCLT only. So I was scared. I went to Vivekanand sir and I explained the whole situation. He guided me, and we had to file an interlocutory application. And of course, he guided me to prepare, even at the stage of preparation of the documents. And I requested Vivekanand sir to appear before NCLT Mumbai. He also accepted. And we submitted all the documents, and registry raised some observations. We also rectified the observations which was raised by the registry. And Tuesday, I got to know that tomorrow the case is listed. I call Vivekanand sir and I say, but sir, can we will have to fly to Mumbai tomorrow. Then Vivekanand sir says that, Vinay, I have a case which is listed in High Court. I will not be in a position to come. You will have to handle it. So I was scared again. And I asked him, sir, this is a crucial stage. I request your help. He suggested, Vinay, don't have any sort of fear. I will guide you. Just you will have to follow this. That's all. He guided me and he said that, this is something which I will remember forever. Forever. He said that, initial 30 seconds of yours, when you present the case before the judge, that 30 seconds is very important. What sort of impression you are going to create is something which is very important. So always start the case. Don't provide the history. Just start the case from here. Why this application is filed? From there you go. Then the judge will not also will not lose the interest, and you will get the favorable reply, favorable order. That is one such thing which I will remember for my life. And that day again I could not sleep. I was reading the entire case again. What happened, everything, the interlocutory application, the annexion, everything I went through. And next day we were in Mumbai, and the I remember Jet Airways case was happening, and it took almost up to 1:30. The case went on, and the judge said that all other cases would be adjourned to the other date. So I'm like, if I go with an adjournment, this is not the right thing. So I will have to get an order today. So I went to the front line, front row, and I requested the bench officer, and I said that my lord, I will not take more than 3 minutes of your time. Have come all the way from Bangalore only for this purpose. Every compliance is made, and I want you to just look into it, and I just need a small relief. That's all. So the bench officer was kind enough, technical member. He was kind enough. He said, "Okay, please go ahead. What's your, what is the petition is all about?" So I explained, and he provided that okay, we will give you a liberty to file afresh. So he also dictated the order, and we got the order. But one fine thing, the money involved is 71 lakh rupees. After that, this COVID lockdown started. April onwards, this lockdown started, and definitely we wouldn't have gone to Mumbai again during those days. And ministry also came and provided an amendment that now if you have to approach NCLT for default, the default amount, the minimum default amount should be 1 crore rupees. So because I got that relief,
just in time.
yes, just in time. So so this is something which I remember for my life. It is a good.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be many more. But again, as a viewer, please remember the same person was in a grocery store and giving rice and dal to people and solved this case all the way in Mumbai. So it's possible for anyone, and that is our whole purpose of this interview series. Again, I repeat, I'm sure I've told many times, but why I'm telling many times is equally so many people in the student community have told negative things about CS. So I also have to tell positive things so many times. If someone told 10,000 times, I should tell at least 10,001 times, and with proof, not just tell some opinion, with proof, with the guest, with the facts and their experiences. So anything is possible. You just have to keep working hard. So Vinay, that was a very good story, and I'm sure many who watch this will realize that if you are ready, and even with a complete surprise, because Vivekananda sir, by the way, he's also a lawyer and company secretary for our audience information. He couldn't make it for his prior commitment. So you went there and got it, and just in time. And these are the things why we really are in practice, which gives us that, I should say, the joy of practice.
Correct.
That is the thing. So next question, Vinay, is little bit, again, many of my questions are a little long, but again, I'll tell. See, when we were studying, since we studied together, it was true to a large extent that the profession was not grown so much, because even this compliance certificate thing came only in 2001 or so. It was still coming up, and it was just one thing. Not many were there, and it was very evident that there is more opportunity for CS. Of course, it is history that now it is unbelievably grown, our CS profession. Opportunities are wonderful in practice and employment. All this is there. In this background, the whatever background I told, what do you see as the future trends? Where can this profession go in future? As a company secretary who's been around for more than 10 to 11 years, what are your views and vision?
Only say, Alok, sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. You have the areas you can choose. I know company secretaries who have chosen only to practice in NCLT. There are specialization, corporate litigations. Again, there are specialization, operation and mismanagement, corporate litigations. And if you want to take labor laws, you can take practice in labor laws. I know the company secretaries who does only GST related things, who handle indirect taxes, who handle only direct taxes. And after practicing for a period of 10, 15 years, I know that most of the company secretaries who are in practice are also law graduates. After the practice of 10 to 15 years or 20 years, they may surrender their certificate of practice and they start practicing as advocates and start appearing before the tribunals and the courts. But I would say if these people had not practiced as company secretaries for a period of 15 to 20 years, then they would not have understood the ground realities. Without understanding the ground realities, you will not be in a position to, no matter what, how many books you read, no matter how many case laws you read, you will not be in a position to present the case before any bench officer or before any judge unless you know the ground reality. So, company secretaryship is something which provides a lot of opportunities. I know the company secretaries who actually deal with only corporate litigations, only with the securities law litigations. Again, and if you go to Mumbai, again, you know,
Even in customs, there are some in customs.
correct.
Correct. So what the viewer should realize is that it is nothing to do with the course. It is completely to do with the person. If you are interested, you put in the work ethic, you put in the hard work, and you put in sustained efforts over time. It is not like a Instagram or any social media where you want something and you get in 1 second. We need that patience.
Persistence,
The results are really
consistency, and
unbelievable,
persistence. That is
because like indirect tax also, it's a huge area. It is not necessary that only other professionals should do it. So here, Vinay, can you tell, if somebody is watching this, what are the 3 or 4 qualities to be successful in this profession?
okay. I'll come to that alone, but I just have one add-on statement
Yes, please.
related to the earlier question. I remember my college days. We were in annual scheme, and the Bangalore University introduced semester scheme. The immediate next batch was getting this semester scheme. And again, I was talking to our Sukumar sir, and I asked that, sir, we are in annual scheme, and the next batch would be semester scheme. People who actually clear their graduation with semester scheme will have higher amount of demand compared to us. So
Yeah,
we
that is classic student mentality. We were also students. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I narrated this and I asked that, what is your viewpoint on this and how should I overcome this? And, how will I be in a position to get some security in my job? And this is the question I asked. And, the reply which he provided, I will remember it for my life again alone. He said, Vinay, university is something which only provides the certificate. And it is your capability how you are going to encash that certificate.
Hmm.
So I would say the same thing with our institute also. Institute of Company Secretaries of India, my institute, our institute will provide you, will provide us the basic knowledge which is required for us to work either as a company secretary in employment or as a company secretary in practice. All the qualities would be taught to you in the student days, and then it will leave you to the profession, and thereafter it is your capability to encash the certificate. So there are multiple areas in which you can practice. So when I was a student, when I was doing my training, I used to see that company secretaries were having only the limited scope, that we used to practice only this filing of the documents with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and giving some compliance certificate. So that is the only thing which I was able to see. But now I see the opportunities are so much that
We really can't do everything. We have
and
to
do
choose
everything.
one or two areas.
Yes, and so
So
I
here again, people who are watching this, please take one point which Vinay told. It is too early to judge when you're a student. You cannot judge. You cannot predict the future. And CS is one of the most affordable course. Anyone can do whatever is your social background, economic background. Which other course we have like that where it takes you directly from someone who's from a very small household with humble background, directly it takes you to the top management. It takes you to the board of directors. You can become a KMP. You're advising on top matters. You're appearing in LCLT. Nowhere it is there. Any other course is definitely much more. Of course, we may feel, you may say, sound we are biased, we are members of ICSI and all that, but it is important to tell this. As students, this awareness is not there, and you cannot assess now. Even now, we are like 10 to 12 years into our CS memberships. Now, new opportunities are coming. In fact, when we studied, there was no Companies Act 2013. Forget IBC, GST, or any other laws. And now, so many new laws are coming. If you see from 2013 to 2021, 7 8 years, I think almost all corporate laws have changed in some way. Labor law or the securities law or IBC, and it's only coming more now. Latest some cyber laws and digital privacy. It's endless. So you can't guess as a student. That is my point for all the students. Vinay, yes, as I was telling you, the question, uh, you can actually tell what do you feel is success. First of all, what do you feel is success? How do you define success? And what are the 3 4 qualities to be successful?
Look, the way I define success is basically this: I keep myself happy and I keep my surroundings happy. So I know happiness, the definition of happiness differs from person to person. So if I'm growing every day, if I'm making the contribution to the people's life who are associated with me in any way, I would say that is success. And success is something which is a process. You cannot just say that you have reached this point and this is success. So it is something which you keep on working on this, and as long as you are adding values to yourself, you keep adding value to your client, to your family, to your friends, and also to your trainees, and to the society as a whole. So that is something which I call as success. For me, success is not happiness. For me, happiness is success.
Very nicely put. So, talking about happiness and success, we are talking mainly about your work and different assignments you handled and having more than 250, 300 clients. How do you have a work-life balance? How do you de-stress yourself? What are the mechanisms which you use?
Look, actually, this is something which I got off late in the year 2014. I got into a spiritual practice wherein I do the meditation. I do, meditation is something which actually gives a lot of calmness in mind. And if you are able to have the calmness in your mind, then I don't think any situation will be a difficult situation. You will be in a position to handle everything. So,
Okay, I think that is very good. Then, what are the soft skills which you feel students should work on apart from technical skills, which obviously they have to know? Soft skills. What are your suggestions?
good communication skills, Alok. I know as I started my practice in the year 2012, and in the year 2012 also, I was finding it very difficult to have the proper communication with the clients. And at one point, I realized that the clarity in language comes when there is a clarity in your thinking. So
Yeah.
first, you will have to have the proper thinking. If you arrive at a stage wherein you have the clarity in thinking, no, language will never be a barrier. So you will just be in a position to take it forward. You will be in a position to take it forward, and you'll be in a position to excel. That's all I
Hmm.
would say.
Yeah, so Excel with Excel Academy on our show. Anyway, so Vinay, here I'm sure all the viewers saw it. For someone who has come from a very simple background and you are working in your family business of a grocery store, you have done all kinds of work. See, once you work in a grocery store, everything you have to do, whether it is packing, lifting, going and giving home delivery,
Yes.
all these things you did. Then you are asking your customers in the grocery store what is supply chain management. So the point is everyone has different challenges, and you may also be in a situation where you don't know, but your history and your background really doesn't matter. CS is your ticket to a great dream. You're definitely an example, and your experience is that, and you're just 10 to 12 years into the practice and the CS profession. There's many more wonderful experiences, not just NCLT Mumbai, many more will come.
Correct.
What is your message to the students who are studying CS course now?
Look, again, I would like to say this. This is something which I was able to experience with myself. As I told you, whenever I was going to classes, that too in a cycle, I used to have a lot of inferiority complex. And I used to see people who used to talk in a polished manner, and they used to have a lot of talent. And I used to think that, I lack this sort of qualities. And, how will I be in a position to,
Will I ever make it? That is the thing.
yeah, that was, will I be in a position to pass? Will I be in a position to gain the success in this course? So these were the thought process which I used to have, and I used to constantly compare myself with the other people. But those days, Alok, if you remember, we used to have this Nokia 1100. That
Correct.
mobile which we used to have, and we were fortunate. Those days, WhatsApp, all these things was not there, and we
I
were able
know.
to
Thank God.
so, we were able to focus only on our studies, but we used to get a lot of forward messages.
Yes.
One such message which actually changed my thinking is the quotation which is given by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who said that, I don't remember the exact words, but what I remember is this: everybody do not have the equal talent, but everyone is having the equal opportunity to develop their talents. So that is something, when I got it, I had a long thought about, I used to think a lot about it, and, I wrote it and I sticked it on my wall. So then I stopped comparing myself with others. I only thought, whenever the thought comes, is to look at that statement and, I have the same opportunity to develop my talent. So there is no meaning in comparing myself with others. Just I need to focus myself, and just should focus on my examination. And here I am.
So the message is very clear. Everyone is on their own journey. Your history, your background, your economic background, or what or where you're from, or the language, nothing matters. Like APJ Abdul Kalam told, and Vinay was lucky to get inspired that time. I'm sure even everyone who's watching this today should take the same quote. You might not be equally talented, but opportunity is there. And right now, today, especially, not just opportunity, you have lot of support. I'm not just telling about our Ekcel Academy in general, whether it is books, whether it is online, whether it is seniors, whether it is getting connected to other CS. In our time, we never knew who is CS, who is not CS. How do you even get to know? So
Yes.
please use this great opportunity is what I would like to invite everyone who is watching this. This was the story of CS Vinay BL. A great story. I'm sure you are inspired. For someone who did not even know, and he was so honest. What was very interesting, and everyone should like, is that he was very honest and open. There was a day where I was feeling insecure. There was a day where I did not know English and what the mistakes I made. This shows that everyone has gone through a similar journey. The struggle may be different, but he kept on working. That is the consistency and the discipline, which I also told you when I observed as a student, which Vinay had, and that was his main strength. In fact, our friend Anand, our very good friend, he also has a Vinay is born for compliance, and he's born for making sure that everything is followed in line. That is the discipline he has, and that is why he is successful. Just one small thing I would like to add, like Vinay was telling, even if you people know cricket, Rahul Dravid always told, one of the greatest cricketers, he said that he was never as talented Sachin Tendulkar or some of the other cricketers. But what he had is discipline and hard work. And that is what made him one of the best cricketers for India, most respected, who went and played in the most difficult foreign conditions, all of that. So, same way it applies to everyone. Don't worry about your history, past, or what you're doing now, or I'm rank student, I'm just pass student, all that doesn't matter. What do you do now, and how will you put the effort day to day, and how you become successful? Like our guests on the show, just like Vinay, is all that matters. So in the end, is there anything else you'd like to share, Vinay? We really thank you for your time.
I do not have anything else to share, Alok, as and when I get to know things.
Yes, we will definitely look forward for more such sessions because Vinay is quite busy. It was quite challenging to get his time, but he gave it, and we are happy that he gave the time and is doing great things. And I'm sure many more get inspired. If you want to know more, you can please let us know. And again, let me just end by saying we have a separate channel just with shorter clips, not the entire interview. Entire interview you can watch here. One more channel, name of that channel itself is The World of Company Secretary. The link is in the box. You can watch the clips. Same way we have the audio, the same audio format, so that you're doing some other work, you can listen. You need not just see it. That is very powerful. It is there on Spotify and every other audio platform. We have posted it. You can look at it. Even those links are in the box. So that was CS Vinay BL on this episode of The World of Company Secretaries. For more such episodes and to get inspired and get into this wonderful profession which can give everything you want, please keep watching and subscribe to our channel and don't miss any episode of this series. Thank you and all the best to you.